Alrighty. Hello everybody. I'm just using my settings to make it a little bit more readable. Hello Levin. Hello Matthias. Well, I'm kind of nervous. I don't like my voice, so I'm gonna try to do this as quick as I can. Um, so how's the picture for you guys? Because this is my first, so I don't know if it's looking alright or not. Perfect. Well, thank you guys all for joining. Um, Hi Jeff. Um, we're gonna try to have a little discussion and show you the results that we had from the test day. Um, yeah, thank you, Madias. Gonna try to do make it nice. Um, okay, Farah, good luck with your internet. First of all, I want to thank all our partners that made this happen. They will be changing screens in the top of the corner. We had a lot of people giving us BBs, FPS testers, things to give away, and some money to buy things that other things that we could give away to other people. We made a lot of people happy with all the stuff. So thank you again for all our sponsors and partners for this event. I'm trying to figure out how I can see all of your questions and still have a nice view on my other screen. But hello, Snowman. How are you, man? Almost that time again. Okay, we're gonna start with what we did on that day. We had 4 stages. On that 4 stages, we tested different things. On the first stage, um, we tested FPS versus Joule. On the second stage, we tested the BB weights of different BBs. On the third stage, we tested 5 different FPS testers. And on the last stand, we tested the rate of fire of airsoft weapons. That was a request from some organizers that had problems with people shooting 40 to 45 rate of fire BBs, and that was just for hurting people, not playing the game. Um, Okay, some other internet problems with some guys. Everything that I say will be on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Roman, for the info. All the live stream will be on our YouTube channel. I will cut all the excessive talks and stuff out of it, so it's not a movie of an hour or 2 hours. So I'll try to do my best. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I will do my best to read all your questions. Try to multitask like a woman. It's not gonna work, but I'm gonna try. If there is any problem or any questions about anything, just yell. We are not experts. We are just an airsoft team that did some testing on this very important thing that's called Joule creep. First, what we did, we had some weapons. We tested, I think, about 60 weapons. I'm gonna scale up the image a little bit so it's a little bit more viewable for all of you. We had all the people filling in a form. That form stated the type of weapon, the category, the type of gearbox, the hop up, the motor, what cylinder was in it. The Jeff, we will see how this goes today, and maybe we can make it a thing, but not sure yet because I don't like to speak for an audience. Okay. Here, we call them replicas, we call them weapons, we call them toys, we call them a little bit of everything. They are in our weapon law in Belgium. I think it's called a weapon law. So we sometimes we talk about weapons because they are in the weapons law. If you're around other people, we talk about replicas. So if you want me to talk about replicas, I can talk about replicas. But these are all the replicas that we tested. We tested about 40 or 50 different kinds of replicas. With all different barrels, different batteries, different magazines, different pressures. So yeah, it's a lot of data of all these weapons, and we can play with all those data. You can see later on the whole Excel file. So the first thing we did, we tested 11 BBs from different weights, from 0.20 up to 0.64, 46, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Francis. 0.46 BBs. So that was the graph that we got. It's a lot. On the left column, you can see all the average joules that we calculated from the FPS values with the weight of the BB. The first graphs that we sent out in the world were a little bit wrong. There was some miscalculation with the formulas, but we fixed that now, we hope. That's why we're gonna spread all this to the world. If you see any mistakes, just tell us and we can try to fix it. Okie dokie, a lot of Dutch guys watching this. The next, I don't know, sheet, yeah, sheet. You can play with everything, or we can start playing with everything. That makes it a lot of fun. I don't know if it's really readable. I will scale this up a little bit. Oop. Okay, I hope this is readable for all of you guys. I will scale it down in a bit so the graph is still visible. We have two similar sheets. The one is just with the BBs that we tested, but then we got a remark for somebody that it's not a linear chart because there is little gaps in the way in between the BBs. There is a gap of 0.03 in between this BB and only 0.02 in between those two BBs. So we made another one that got rid of all those gaps and it's a nicer view. So we're gonna work with this one. On the top, I will scale it up again. On the top, you can see I was looking for an English word. Maybe you guys can help me to put it all in one word. How is your rifle powered? Hi, Farah. Um, you got the gas, you got batteries, you got spring, but I need one word for the I don't know. In Belgium, in Dutch, it's called aansturing or whatever. It's just how your weapon replica is powered. Propulsion system. Thank you, Roman. Thank you. I will write it down. Thank you. I will change that in the Excel file when it's released. Um, you can just take all the ones that you want. For example, if you only want the battery powered rifles or replicas for the Dutch guys, or airsoft apparaten for the really Dutch guys, um, the graph only shows you the batteries. Um, I'm not gonna show you all the rifles in detail, but it gives you an idea um, of how the line goes. There's not much to say about it. We're not making this video to show to tell you results or make a conclusion of what's Joule, how we're gonna change it, or how it's affecting everything. We just did all the measurements, and people can work with it how they want to do it. But we got a lot of things going on with the HPA guys, so I'm gonna show you that. If you go to only HPA and you click OK, you got a whole other graph. Well, we didn't have that many HPA guns, weapons, or replicas. Thank you, Snowman. It was a lot of work with a lot of help of all our guys and friends and partners. You can see we have 5 different lines here, but only 4 lines are really important. The one blue line that's making a huge dip in the .32 BB, that's a CO2 rifle. And in the .32 BB test, he changed his capsule. So that's why it's really going down and up again. So in the new version of the Excel file, this line, you can just filter it out. I'm gonna click them all on again. We played along with the settings and to show the best graphs. And the best way to do that is just don't look at the pistols. Pistols are using gas, and not everybody refilled their magazine after the test. So it's going down and up, and it's a really weird graph. We're gonna check out the shotguns because they shoot 3 BBs and they give really wrong measurements in different test meters and stuff like that. So we can click them out too. Then we have the what happened? Have to do it again. Okay, pistols off, shotguns off, revolvers off because it's using gas as well. And if you click OK, that's the best line you can get of all the replicas or weapons that fuck, I hate talking English. Have to do it in a week in Sweden, so it's really good to practice my English a little bit. So now we only have the battery powered, the spring powered, and the HPA powered weapons. But if you got the Excel file, you can just play along with all the things, and you can have some nice graphs. So that's it about. Thank you, babe. Yeah, I really don't like talking, but it's nice that all of these people are watching this. It's a really important subject. We got a whole day on Facebook about Joule and HPA and the Dutch NABV, if I'm saying it correctly, doing some testing too. So that's why we also want to have the data out in the open so everybody can use the data for their safety. On this graph, you can read it. On the right side, you got the barrel length. Not all barrel lengths are not all barrel lengths are showing because not everybody filled in their barrel length. But you can play along with it. It gives you an idea if the barrel length has an influence on the value of the joules or the FPS. But that's something you can play on. Is there anything that you want to see now, or want to talk about, or something that I can show you the sniper rifles? Wait a minute. Just click here. Click on springs. There you go. And then spring just only show me the sniper rifles. There you go. This is for the sniper rifles. As you can see, the top line has a weird start, but it could be that there were some false measurements or something like that. We cannot check all the data, but it's possible that that's the correct data, but it's also possible that there was some miscalculation with the testers or something. But yeah, that's how the sniper rifles go. It's not that bad. I know a lot of snipers had really problems or were afraid that the sniper rifles would have some bad reputation or something, but it's not that bad. It's just like the HPA. It's not that bad if you see them in the graph, and it's only changing maybe 0.20 or 0.10 joules. Jeff, have you seen anything special with HPA joule creep? Nothing very disturbing or very special. We had some different engines. We got the Wolverine and the Titman, I think it was, and they all had similar lines. I can show you the HPA again. Oop. Wait a minute. It's not that the HPA has a very big joule creep and the AG has only a small joule creep. They all have it. If you take the submachine guns, some submachine guns like the ARP9, they're creeping. Wait a minute. If you have a high joule and you have an FPS of really, I have to read this 2 times. So in general, if you have a high joule and you have an FPS, your FPS lowers if you play with a higher BB weight, but your joules is depending on what weapon you are using. Some weapons will go higher in joules, some weapons will go lower in joules. I hope that's an answer to your question. Okay, good question, Lieven or Wolf, whatever. We tested the hop-up stayed the same the whole test. Nobody changed their hop-up setting because we didn't want any variables to change. They all used what they came with. Nobody changed anything. They just dropped in another BB and tested that BB. I'm gonna show you the HPA a little bit. So was that good, or did you want to see that everybody change their hop-up system for every BB. So here is the HPA again. Jelle, okay, Leven, just type a little bit. I'm gonna answer Jelle now. Why you have different results with different BB weights? I don't really got the question or understand the question, but you can try to rephrase it so I can understand it. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting a little bit for Leven to stop typing so I can go on. As I can see, you can just play around. Fun thing to see is on the battery, the submachine guns. They are really similar. Francis, I'm not gonna go in too deep on your question. We only did this test so people can use our data. What AAB or NAVB will do with the data, it's up to them. I hope they talk to each other because we have a lot of Dutch players playing in Belgium and a lot of Belgian players playing in the Netherlands. So I hope they talk to each other and get some normal rules for everybody. Joule creep is something that exists. Yes, Roman. It's it's on every weapon. The joules change on every weapon. Joule creep is if you're playing with a higher velocity projectile, your impact changes, and the joules is measuring how much of an impact you have with that kind of weight, with that kind of velocity. If you change your weight or your velocity, your impact will increase or decrease depending on if you go higher or lower on weight. If you play with a if you play with a higher weight, your impact will increase normally, but that's not for everything. If you go too high on a BB, your weapon or your replica will not be able to give it enough pressure, and your impact will go down instead of up. So, Jelle, was that an answer to your question? Yeah, Francis, I know, but I can. I will talk with the AAB, the Airsoft Alliance Belgium. I'm only also a member of the Airsoft Alliance Belgium, and we will certainly try to talk to all parties, even the organizer, the player, everybody, because these rules are around for 10 years or for over 10 years. That was a time that every player played with 0.0 BB, and nobody ever thought about playing with the double of the weight, or even snipers only used maximum of 0.28 or something. Jeff, we didn't do any conclusions yet because we want to talk with all parties on how they see it, and maybe other people have done similar testing, and we can try to get all the testing together and have a final conclusion about everything. We only try to gather as much data as possible, and what the conclusion will be is something for later stadium status. I don't know, the next step. Okay, I'm gonna try to go on now. If there are no much questions, I'm gonna. Wolf, did you have your question ready yet? I will go on to the next sheet. If you have the question, I can return to the previous sheet. No worries. I'm not gone yet. The next step we did was we tested 40 different kind of BBs. We had different, Jeff, no problem. Okay, thank you for the nice and kind words. We think it was something that had to be done, and so we were really happy with all the help we got. You can find all our pictures of that day on our Facebook page. Some of them are on our Instagram, but for the album, you better go to the Facebook page. So I was saying the next step that we did was the BB weight test. We had 40 different kind of BBs that we tested, and some of them were the same weight, but just from another brand. We put all that data together, and we made some average values. I'm gonna see if this is readable for all of you, but I think it is. Okie dokie. The red squares or cells are some weird data, but not totally weird. But that's something that we looked into and didn't find any answer why it was weird. But it's still in the data. Here you can see that a 0.20 BB from 8 different brands put into the same weapon, replica gun, and shot to the same FPS tester. You can see that there are a lot of weird points, but that's because we got our pistols again. We're gonna shut off the pistols and the shotguns, and we do it again. And now we can see we have a really nice graph showing that there is not that much different on the 0.20 gram BBs. If you want to know which brands that we tested, there is a number on every BB. So this is BB 202. And then if you go to the data sheet, there is the list with all the BBs that was tested. And the 202 was the BioVal BBB 20 of 0.20 grams. Next sheet. We also had some weird values on the 208 and the 205. If you want to know what BBs that were, just download the Excel file and check it out. Wait a minute, I have some questions. So Joule creep is about the muzzle speed not dropping enough as the BB weight increases, therefore having more energy in the BB. I don't think that's right, Flex, but I'm trying to understand. Wait a minute, I'm trying to read Flex's question. So Joule creep is about the muzzle speed not dropping enough as the BB weight increases, therefore having more energy in the BB. I don't know the physics about it. We have a guy that knows a lot more of that, but that's for a next. Really have to get that word. The next phase, yeah, the next phase. On the next phase, we can try to understand why it is dropping or why things are happening. These are just the test results. You will not have the PDF file. We talked about having a Word document or a PDF file, but there were too many graphs or there were too many things that you can play with that we're gonna give you the Excel file. So you have all the data, you can play with every aspect of the data file. The cells will be locked just to protect our formulas and stuff like that. So you can change all the you can check out some boxes to have nice graphs, but the the cells themselves are secured with a password. But if you want to really get into that stuff, just contact me and then we can talk about it. Wait a minute, some other questions. Uh, yes, the kinetic energy as a function of speed and mass. I have it here somewhere. There you go. I hope you can see this. It's a really good link that shows um, the formula and how it's questions coming in. Yes, Christoph, you can have the Excel file too. Um, it's a website that shows you how Joules is uh, how Joules work, how it's working, and how it's in line with the FPS and what you have to do to go from FPS to Joule with what formula and with what parameters that you have to work with. So I can link it in the description so everybody can see this. I don't know how you do that, but I will try to put it in reaction. Hopefully you can find that link. It's below the video. Okay, there were some new questions from Ricardo. Which airsoft system had the most joule creep? I didn't check it yet. There we have so many different kinds of data that I really didn't check what system had the most joule creep. We have AEGs that go really high. We have HPA rifles that go high. We have sniper rifles that have a joule creep in the middle. It's weird data. So you can, if you have the Excel file, you can just filter them out and you can see which rifle has the highest joule creep. I hope that is an answer to your question. Yella, higher joules on a low BB weight gives more FPS, but distance drop. The joule with the higher BB weight increases distance, but damn. Might be able to. Higher joules on a low BB weight gives more FPS, but distance drop. We didn't test any distances though, so that's also an important factor here. We only tested just outside of the muzzle flash, the flash hider, whatever. We didn't check how the BB was flying or how it influenced the trajectory of the BB. We yeah, put it in Dutch. I will try to answer your question later on. Sorry for that. So we didn't check how the BB was flying. Maybe in different test days we can check that to get the maximum distance from some kind of rifle or a different BB. This if I can. Yes, distance is indeed a factor we will take in account for the next phase. So if you want to come and test, just give me a yell. Go back to the BBs. Okay, thank you, Jelle. The BBs. The point 20 was really not that surprised. Most of the BBs were going great, but with the point 25 BBs, something weird happened. We really don't understand how it happened or what happened. But we had some really weird measurements, especially the 210 and the 220. And the 210 and the 220 were the HEDD BBs. That was not a surprise because these BBs are not that great. And the other one was the 220, and those were pink BBs, the Nuprol, the pink 25 BBs. Um, 0.28, not a big change in anything. Only the 104 was a little bit of a surprise. Um, the 0.30 BBs, same thing. Not really big differences on different BB kinds. 0.36, that was a little bit of a surprise because we have a very good measurement that all weapons replicas, the FPS went down from the first BB to the last BB. So there is a different on in weight. We will weigh all these BBs again and give them their right weight, but we have to do that in the next stage. But because we have a lot of data and we aren't finished with it. And on the point 43, for point 43, we have the opposite. The 213 goes uh, it goes up, whatever. We got a question from the NABV. How did you test the BBs? How many shots? In the first sheet, I will go back. Um, you can see we had 3 shots with those BBs for every weapon. I can tell you, it was a hell of a lot of work to get those 3 shots and have good measurements. We only took the good measurements because most of the time the first BB was still the last BB from the previous test. So we cut that measurement out and did some other test BBs. So these are normally 3 good tests. Um, with the BBs, we had some BBs testing. We had some weapons testing 3 BBs, some 4 BBs, some 5 BBs. We just took the average from 3 to 5 BBs. Francis, everybody has a right to listen to this. That's why we have those data, and we just want them, everybody, to have them, and maybe do some more testing starting with our data. So we were at BBs, and that's it about the BBs. I don't know if there were any more questions about those testings. These are really normal results. Really straightforward. You can just take those graphs and see what BB brand was good and what was a little bit less good. The Keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. The third test was the FPS testers. We had 5 different brands of FPS testers. I can show you. I didn't remember the brands. Really had to prepare myself a little bit better. There you go. Just show it like that. Yeah, Flex, everybody will get the link to the spreadsheet. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, Wolf, we can do that. We can discuss it later on or on this live stream. I think I missed the question, but oh yeah, there it is. I will read it afterwards if that's okay. Yeah, we can't have any people in the picture because of the privacy laws nowadays, so only the testers. Most of them were Sortex testers, the Mark 3 or something like that, and then the 3200 and the new one of Sortex. Because we tested those FPS testers because we had some organizations and people saying that, oh no, we cannot go to that place because their tester is bad and it gives wrong measurements, and my gun shoots that much higher if I go to that organization. So we did some testing. These are the results. The yellow one is the um, first BB. That was a white BB. The second one was the pink one, I think, and the third one was a gray one. We used different colors of BBs because that can have an influence on the readings. We have some nice graphs again. We did the testing with 28, 26 rifles, took the averages, and if we filter the pistols and the shotguns out again, we have some nice data. And as you can see, most of the testers have the same results. The first values, I don't know if my mouse is not showing up, but the first readings on the three lower charts or graph type thingies, I don't know if they are right, but that's the only thing that was showing off of not showing off, showing some wrong data. For the rest, the most of the testers just did fine. I expected a bigger difference between all the testers. Maybe on a field, the humidity and the people operating the testers are more of a variable than the tester itself. So maybe we can try to do this test again with more testers and just only a test on those that stage. The amount of usage the tester has had. The Dirty Birdie, funny name if I read it out loud. Dirty Birdie, the amount of usage the tester had. So you think that the tester wears off after an amount of time of if people shoot at it, if they hit the side of the tester, it goes. Yeah, I know. uh, the tester goes bad or something. I don't. How would you explain that? Yeah, we tested. Now we tested every weapon with the muzzle up to the FPS testers. And we will try in the later status, later phase, to get our hands on that special kind of chrono with those, I don't know how, the V-shaped things with the plastic on top. You can shoot from a distance, and then we can try shooting at a distance from 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters to see what difference that it make on different weapons. So that's a good point, Dirty Birdie. I'm gonna write that down, not just for this test, but also for the Airsoft Alliance Belgium, because that's a good point to check out. Because I didn't know how it was calibrated or stuff like that. Because all FPS testers are standard, not calibrated. They just use 2 infrared beams, I guess, and the BB travels a distance between those beams, and that distance calculated gives you the FPS value. If I'm correct. If I'm not correct, just tell me in the comments or in the chat, whatever. I really say whatever a lot. So that's the white BB, the 301. We did the test for the 302 BB. If I get the pistols and the shotguns out again, because we had really weird values with the pistols and the shotguns. We got a value of 600 FPS with a shotgun. Thank you, Ace. Okay, but Wolf, is it used as much as an organizer uses it, or do you only use it? Um, I don't know the word. Not that much. Less than an organizer. Okay, but I've had a talk with the NABV, I think it was, that they had from the same brand. Uh, from the same brand, they picked out 10 FPS testers, and they already had two that had different readings. So it's very yes, sporadically. Oh damn it, less. That's an easier word. Um, they tested 10 FPS testers, and two of them had already bad readings. I don't know why or how they tested it, but it would be very nice to see those test results and get them published or something. Um, that's it about the FPS testers. We only had 5 different brands. I hoped for more, but all these testers were given by players or sponsored by one of our sponsors. You can still see them on top. Um, so we were really happy that we were able to use those FPS testers. Thank you again for that. The third BB, you can see it gives a good measurement for all testers. There are some weird things. Haha. um, there are some weird values, but that could also be that that value was misread or something or miswritten down. But most of the lines are really even, so I was really happy about that. Um, ICS is good too. The fourth stage was the rate of fire. We did that on a request of an organizer because they had problems with people shooting 40, 45 rounds per second, and that's just crazy. I know you were leaving. So we did the test, and every weapon, or we tried to test every weapon on the rate of fire, but we had really difficult time doing this test because you have to shoot 10 or 12 to 15 BBs in a straight line through the same FPS tester, and we had some problems doing that. So we only have, I think, 20 readings, but it gives a good. It shows how the battery influences the rate of fire. There are two dots, red dots missing because those are HPA rifles, replicas, Airsoft-apparaten. Um, as you can see, the highest one we had was 25 rounds per second. I think that was Dirty Birdies, and that was because his magazine was not able to feed them faster. So they are able to shoot faster, but some of the problems are the magazines that are not feeding the BBs as fast as they shoot. That's not that bad because 25 rounds per second is really fast. With a normal 7.4 LiPo battery, you get around 10 to 13 rounds per second, and that's a good value for shooting full auto. The 11.1 goes from 13 up to 22 to 23 rounds per second. So I hope the organization is happy with those results and can use them in their upcoming skirms. Uh, so that's it. That's all what we did. Um, I don't know if there are any more questions about the data. We're gonna try to have an how to work with the Excel file online after we return from. Thank you, Lieven. After we return from Sweden in I think it's in about 2 weeks, then we can try to make a little how to. But we will get the data online. I hopefully tomorrow. Tonight will be a little bit close to change all the things, but tomorrow or the day after, the data will be online on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook as the 25th Mountaineers. When can we download the Excel? Hopefully tomorrow or the day after. I will change some things, like the propulsion system that will change in the Dutch word, and I will make an extra category for the HPA, that rifle that shot with the CO2 capsule, so you can eliminate that value of the graph out of the graph. Um, any more questions? I think not. We are really happy that you're happy that we did this. So all I can say is, if there are no more questions, check out our Facebook page, because we will try to get some updates of that data online as fast as possible. But remember that we are going to Sweden for Burget 16, and we will have a delay of 2 weeks. And if you want to see what we did last year in Sweden, just go to our YouTube and check our videos. Um, and that's it. I don't want to make any more commercial things. I said what I had to say, and if there are no more questions, I will shut this down. I will upload, or try to upload, because this is going on for 51 minutes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is going on for 51 minutes. I will try to upload it on YouTube so everybody can see it. Oh, a question. Dirty Birdie, we will try to do some more testing events, but as you know, we are quite busy with a lot of things. But we will do some more testing days, more to one specific point, and hopefully we got some nice players coming to test their weapons or rifles or replicas. Um, so Flex, you did the math. Okay, thank you, Wolf. I'm not that fast, and Dirty Birdie, the goggles. I will think about it. Um, we will talk about it. um, okay. If you have questions about the live stream, if you have any questions about the live stream, you can just put them in the comments on the video that will be online. We will try to answer them as fast as possible. If you have any ideas of what we didn't test, or maybe we can test in the future, just put them in the comments and we will see what we can do. Flex, yes, the speed drops a lot. I can show you a measurement for one rifle. For example, the first one, 7003, that was a pistol, a bad one. I will take 702, didn't test that one. Where is a good one to say? Because the pistols are not that good of a value. That's an HPA. Yeah, 7004. This one, you can see that the FPS drops from an average from 345. If you use a .23 BB, it goes to 320, 25 BB to 304, and it's dropping. And if he fires with the 4, it's only going to 74 anymore. So the speed drops if the BB weight goes higher. I hope that was an answer to your question. Okay, Flex, if that was it, if this wasn't an answer on your question, send us a private message on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook channel, and then we can try to answer all of your questions that have to do with all the data that we collected. So that's it. I'm wishing you a very good night, and thank you for. Okay, thank you. I wish you a very good night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, we can do that again with some other data or other fun stuff. Thank you. Bye.